Good morning, everyone. If you're watching today, could you comment and let me know you're there? Welcome to our Virtual Birding Live Wednesday, first Wednesday of May. And what you're seeing right now, I'm Lynn Gibbs with Tug Hill Tomorrow, and this is Virtual Birding. And what you're seeing, I'm trying to show you right now, is a robin sitting on her nest. If you can see her, let me know. I know the lighting is kind of challenging. Are you seeing the robin in the nest? Yes, no, maybe? I'm trying to do a close-up, so the camera's a little shaky. But I wanted you to see her. She's really hunkered down in there today. It's very rainy and cold. At last count, she had 4 eggs in the nest, and she has been tending to them by basically sitting right down in that nest and getting her brood patch over them and keeping them nice and warm, especially in this cool, chilly, rainy weather. So I'm hoping you can see her. She's pretty much looking right at me. I'm filming out the window of my mom's house. She has a lilac bush right outside her window here, and this is a perfect spot for this robin to have nested. It's very sheltered, very discreet, and she's been just a really good mom so far, incubating those 4 eggs in the nest. Morning, Emily. Can you see the robin? Can you let me know? You can see it's a little breezy here. The rain is dripping. But she's chosen a nice place to build her nest, nice and tucked inside this shrub where it's a little protected. There, she moved a little bit. You see her beak and her eye there, and her tail sticking out the back. She's got her nice warm breast tucked way down in there next to the eggs to keep them warm. All right, I'm going to apologize for camera work here. And I'm going to come out from this a little bit so it's not so jiggly. Maybe you can see her a little bit better. How's that? That's better. So you may be noticing a lot of nesting behavior of birds around you, especially resident birds who've been here for a while. They're busily building in their nests and laying their eggs and brooding. And you can see her yellow beak and her white eye ring there. And this nest is typical of robins. They build them with mud and grasses. Kind of weave the grasses around and stick it together with mud. Make a nice firm nest. They lay those eggs and hunker down in, and there you go. So what I want to talk about this morning is when you're watching birds, what kind of behavior you might see them display. I'm going to turn the camera around so I can talk to you and not jiggle. Hi! So I'm going to move over here. Again, I am in the Syracuse area at my mom's house right now, and I was just showing you a robin's nest that was built right outside her window in her lilac bush. And we've been watching the mother incubating those eggs, but we also have a great feeder here. Unlike my house, my mother's house is awesome for bird watching. So I'm going to turn the camera around again and show you her feeders out here. So we just put the hummingbird feeder up yesterday afternoon, and within 20 minutes we had 2 hummingbirds here. So they must have just been waiting for us to put the feeder up. So it's a great time to feed birds. It's also a great time to watch them court and nest. You may have noticed some changes in birds that have been around here all winter time. They're starting to get more colorful. The bright yellow American goldfinches are in full plumage. The cardinals are bright red. The males are bright red, and the females have that stunning olive and red on them. Right now we have a house finch at the feeder. It's got kind of a reddish head. There he goes. And then out here we've got some nest boxes. We were trying to attract bluebirds. Last year we had nesting bluebirds. However, this year the boxes have been taken over by house sparrows. And we're working on when their first brood is out, we may clean the nest out and try and attract bluebirds back. I'm trying to get my camera to zoom in on this feeder, but it will not. I don't know why. Okay. So at your feeders, you're gonna, yes, it is a good place to be on the cold, damp day, Emily. Hi, Jim. Oh, that's great. You get good robin song every day. Oh yeah, and the phoebes have begun nesting. Lots and lots of birds have begun nesting. Hi, Rich. Welcome. So birding this month is really about having seen some of the changes happen in the birds that live here, the color changes, and the behavior changes. Birds have gone from flocking up in numbers to find food and for safety to starting to court and pair up to be able to nest. So you probably have noticed that as you're watching birds that they're starting to behave a little bit differently. They're starting to look a little different, a little bit more put together, so to speak, with their bright colors for attracting mates, and also to be able to be seen in the forest amongst the leaves by their mates. There's another house finch at the feeder there. I don't know why my camera will not zoom into this feeder. Let me try. I apologize for the jiggling, but I will try to get it to close in. Oh, there we go. Okay. I had to get above the comments, I guess. There we go. That's a little better. So there's that house finch there. Nice kind of reddish head. But the red doesn't go down too far onto the body. If it were a lot more redder, like it had been dipped in raspberry sauce, it might be a purple finch. But this one is a house finch, and you see the striping and the red on the head. And we have goldfinches out there flying around, and hopefully they'll come in. We have cardinals, we have goldfinches, and we have had hummingbirds just yesterday, so hopefully we'll see a hummingbird. So with feeders, today is kind of wet and cold. I just put new seed out there yesterday, and you'll see the goldfinches down here. Did you see him flying? Let me see if I can get him. There he is. There's the two male goldfinches down there, and the house finch on the ground is going to join them. And the males you will see kind of flitting around, showing territorial behavior, showing courtship behavior toward females. Some pairs of birds will feed each other during courtship, so cardinals and a lot of songbirds will do that. So look for those behaviors. And nesting behavior includes carrying things in their beak to a nest site. So you may see them flying with grasses and leaves in their beaks. So right now you see a house finch and a goldfinch, male goldfinch on the ground. So birds not only will come to your feeders, but they will come and feed on the ground under your feeders. And you want to notice what species are doing which thing. Cardinals, blue jays, let's see, finches, things like that will like to feed on the ground under your feeders and catch those seeds that other birds drop. You have an American goldfinch. Ooh, here comes more goldfinches. And I just saw the hummingbird fly back into those trees, so maybe we'll get a hummingbird sighting too. So if you're interested in learning about nesting behavior and nests, there's a great site online called NestWatch, one word, nestwatch.org, and I will put the link in the comments. They have lots and lots of information about identifying different kinds of nests, but also what to look for in terms of, they're just flitting around back here, in terms of caring for nests during the season. You should never move a nest. If a nest has been established in an inconvenient place, try and move around those birds and leave that nest there as long as you can. Once the birds have fledged, maybe then move the nest. It's illegal to move a migratory bird's nest when it's established and has eggs. So you really need to leave those nests there because the birds have chosen that as a particular location that's good for them. You can discourage nesting before the bird has established the nest in a location by creating more activity or moving the materials they're starting to place there, moving the platform or the base on which they're making the nest, that kind of thing. That's okay to do, but once the nest is established, you really shouldn't move it. You should leave it there, let them raise their young, and then remove the nest. Now again, wet, rainy weather, disturbing a nest, other health factors can determine whether that nesting pair is going to be successful. I'm watching these birds. They're not coming to the feeder, but they're flying all around me out in the yard. Trying to catch them. I'm really hoping a hummingbird will come in and get a sip. Oh, there he is, on cue. Do you see him? There he is at the feeder, sipping away. And what we did was use simple syrup. We made 4 parts water, 1 part white granulated sugar, brought to a boil in a pan, then cooled. Then once it's cool, I filled the feeder with the syrup and I put the leftover in the refrigerator. It'll keep about a week. And I can refill it from there. And these guys can come back and feed whenever they need to. And in between fillings, I make sure and clean the feeder thoroughly so I'm not getting any mold or anything in there. I was just starting to say that I did put seed in the feeders, in the hanging feeders, just yesterday, and since it's gotten really wet and cold, I'll be checking that seed. If the seed gets wet, what I'd usually do is empty the seed onto the ground and kind of rake it around, and then I will refill with dry seed because there can be mold in the seed and mold can develop and make the birds sick, which we don't want. So you want to just keep an eye on your feeders, and your feeders, you do want to wash them thoroughly about every 2 weeks. Take them out, scrub them really good with dish soap, let them dry. Ooh, there comes that robin right into the bush. But you can watch different birds, see what they use for different nesting materials. If you're looking to provide nesting materials for birds, really try to use natural things. Gather some leaves, gather some grass, gather some moss. Sometimes like, what's it called? Milkweed, silk, things like that. We've really found that if we put lint from the dryer or yarn scraps or any kind of stringy things or synthetic things out for birds to use, they may use it, but it's not healthy for them to do. They can get it caught around their feet or their beaks. It can get wet, especially like cotton fibers can get wet in the nest and hang on to wet and cold conditions for them. So really natural materials is the best. And you can just pile, some grass clippings and leaves and things somewhere on your deck or in your yard to watch them take those. Or in a suet feeder box. There's a chickadee coming in. So those are the best materials to use, and especially native materials that are not treated. So if you've put chemicals on your lawn or fertilizers or anything, don't use those grass clippings. You want to use things that don't have anything added to them. So we'll see if that hummingbird comes back. Anybody have any questions? Yeah, people are starting to see orioles, rose-breasted grosbeaks, some of the more colorful birds. Indigo buntings are headed north. Of course, the goldfinches are nice and yellow right now. The cardinals are bright red. Ooh, there's a chipping sparrow right next to the post there. Can you see him with his little rusty cap? There he is. He's going to pose for you right on the deck railing. He's got that white stripe over the eye and that rusty cap. Very perky little birds. He's usually on the ground under the feeders. You'll see him on the flatness. That chickadee went in and out. What a great day for birding. What else are you seeing at your feeders? Yeah, the crab trees, I'm south of you, Emily, in Syracuse. They're about a week and a half ahead, so a lot of their blossoms have dropped already. And ours are just coming on in the North Country, so you're going to start seeing those birds that frequent those. You might already have seen and heard the white-throated sparrows coming through. Rufous-sided towhees are there. Who else has arrived this week? Chipping sparrows. There he is on the deck. Can you see him? There's our little chipping sparrow. Taking a gander around the deck, seeing if any of the other birds dropped seeds for him. So there you go. This month is all about looking for nesting behaviors. You may notice if you're feeding birds that they will come right now as birds are migrating through and arriving and starting to nest. They will eat a lot at the feeders. And once they have nests established, they switch their diets. Primarily, songbirds will switch their diets from seeds to insects. And they will feed their young insects. They need a lot of protein to grow and keep healthy during that high energy time. And so they may come to the feeders for a while regularly, and then they may disappear for a little while. Don't be concerned. They're taking care of young, and they'll be back once their broods are bigger and fledged. So once again, I'm here a little south of where I usually am. I'm in the Syracuse area at my mom's great birding house. So we have feeders, we have a robin that's nesting right outside our window. She's laid 4 eggs and is in there keeping them warm. Oh, there's the white-throated sparrow right there on the ground. Let me try and get him. He's behind the chair right now. And try and get over. Can you see him? There he is. Right between the arm of the chair and the seat of the chair is our white-throated sparrow. He's up on the railing now. Maybe he'll come up. Oh, where we can see him. Could see his white stripes and the white throat patch on him. Our bird of the day yesterday was the white-throated sparrow. They have an interesting lifestyle because there are 2 color morphs to the white-throated sparrow. There's a chickadee. And the white-throated sparrow comes in 2 color morphs. They have tan stripes or white stripes. And usually, mating pairs are a combination of a white and a tan striped bird. So if the female is white, the male is usually tan. If the male is white, the female is usually tan. There's that chipping sparrow back. Oh, here comes a goldfinch. There he is, right on top of the pole. And white-throated sparrows also like to hang with dark-eyed juncos for some reason, and they have mated with them before. So maybe they're the swingers of the bird world, I don't know. Interesting. Birds are so fun to learn about. Oh, there come in the house finches. There's the male on the left and the female on the right. She does not have red on her head, and he does. I don't know if you can hear them, but the goldfinch is just singing away. and the chipping sparrow on the railing as well. Great birding this morning where I am. How's the birding where you are? Huh. Wendy, are you seeing any birds? I hope I'm holding the camera steady enough for you to see them all. It's pretty active here this morning. So this morning we've seen what? House finches, goldfinches, chickadees, a white-throated sparrow, a chipping sparrow, a hummingbird, ruby-throated hummingbird, and a robin. Not bad. Not bad for 10 minutes in the morning. I'm not sure if any BirdQuest teams are joining in, but this May is the Tug Hill BirdQuest. We do an annual feeder watching event every year with schools and families and youth groups. We have 41 teams this year, and they are going to be watching their feeders this month and recording the types and numbers of those types of birds they see at their feeders for an official count the week of May 17th. And then we'll put out a report about what everyone's seen. So that's really fun. If you want to learn more about that event, you can go to the BirdQuest page. It's under our events tab on the tughilltomorrowlandtrust.org website, and I'll put that link also in the comments. I'm going to pan up because there's not a lot of work at the feeders, but up here in the trees in the back, I don't know if you can see all the birds up there in that tree, but they're all kind of hanging out there eating their seeds. And here is the house sparrow coming in. The male house sparrow coming in. I believe he's one of the pair that is nesting in the back in the bird boxes. Let's see his nice black markings under his bill, that nice striping on his back, gray breast. And you can see him trying to manipulate that seed. There's the chipping sparrow. I'll take that, thank you. Is that a chipping sparrow? I don't think that's a chipping sparrow. That may be a song sparrow. Sparrows are hard, y'all. They take study. Ooh, there's a white-breasted nuthatch right on top of the pole. Look at him go down that pole. So skillful. And nuthatches tend to take a seed from the feeder and then go store it somewhere or go pick it apart and eat it. There's the chickadee. So great birding. Great bird watching this month for nesting and courting behavior. Looking for birds coming through and migrating, and birds nesting. So there you have it. I hope you are able to go out and have a good time birding and see all these behaviors and take a look. Again, remember, do not move nests. If birds are nesting, please try not to disturb them so that they can raise their brood. And there you have virtual birding for this morning. I'll be back at 5, so if you see anything interesting in your neck of the woods that you want to share with us at 5 o'clock, please come back. Hi, Chris. If you've just joined us, we've been talking about bird nesting, watching birds at feeders. There's the hummingbird again. Can you see him? Birds nesting, courting, feeding, migrating. Lots of bird activity this month. So again, if you have feeders and you're watching, you'll have lots of birds here for a little while, and then they may taper off a little bit because they're on nests looking for and foraging for protein for insects for their young. And then once those birds are grown and fledged, you'll have another period of activity at your feeders. So don't despair. Just keep the feeders clean and filled, and you'll be set. All right. Again, I'll put all the links to everything I talked about today in the comments, so you can check that. This video will also be saved on our Facebook page and eventually our YouTube channel, so you can go back and replay them if you need to. Here's that nuthatch back. All right, so I'm going to sign off for this morning, everybody. Happy birding. Happy spring. Enjoy. I'll be back at 5 if you want to join me. If not, I'll see you the first Wednesday of June. Oh my goodness, June already. See you then. Have a great day.